Welcome, welcome, welcome. So far, I'm here by myself. We will just hang out for a second here in the room. This is not my normal day to go live, and so it might turn out to just be a giant bust, but I guess we'll find out. I hope you're all having a great day and a great week if you're watching this either live or the recording. I'm going to be doing some gelli printing this morning and doing some gelli print / artwork kind of things. Sort of like these. These are just done on plain drawing paper. But I thought to do, and these happen to all be the zombie doll art foamy prints. I'll be doing different ones, but good morning, Kathy. And these are just on plain drawing paper, but I thought to do some nicer quality paper ones. This is Bristol vellum. So we're going to be printing on some of this Bristol vellum and doing similar style of prints, different designs, of course. Again, these happen to all be zombies for whatever reason. That's all I have left. But I will be creating gelli prints using my art foamies I designed for art foamies, different ones, or my rubber stamps from my Etsy shop. And then, of course, doodling or drawing on top of them like these and creating, each one will be different. And then they'll be going up for sale in the Etsy shop for a very inexpensive price. So put those over there. So we're going to do that this morning. I also have a coupon code for you all. So if you don't have a pencil and paper handy, never fear, because it's in the video description. So if you use this coupon code at checkout in my Etsy shop, you'll get 10% off your total purchase. Now, there's a few reasons I'm doing this again. Good morning, Linda. So I'm trying to reduce the amount of the inventory I have here at the house for the Etsy shop. There's a lot of things I can make on demand, or I can have manufactured on demand, which is a very much lower overhead for me than the way I was doing it. And I need to transition to that. That being said, we've been trying to reduce the inventory of stamps and stencils for kind of a while now with mixed success. So I need to continue that. So I'm going to put another coupon code out, and it's good for anything in the shop. If you want stamps or stencils, this is the time, use one of these coupon codes to get them. There's still a lot of inventory. There are some designs that are out right now. That doesn't mean they won't ever come back. They will, but they won't be coming back until I've done some more inventory reduction. The stamps will be, once they're gone and then relisted, they'll be manufactured on demand and shipped to you from manufacturing. So they'll take a little longer, but the quality and anything won't be any less. And the price won't be different for you. They'll just take a little bit longer to get. So anyway, that being said, times are tough right now for everybody, and YouTubers and creatives especially. So I'm, doing what I can to raise funds. So yeah, 10, welcome. I just got a message that one of my friends got her first COVID jab. So yay. Anyway, and if I seem a little off my tone of voice, I have an eye doctor appointment tomorrow. I am having trouble with one of my floaters in one of my eyes. It's not necessarily a big deal, but I have white coat syndrome. And so I am just kind of, about it. So anyway, I am going to use the Himi gouache this morning. I'm good. Ahmet, how are you? Good morning, Kristen. So again, if you missed it, we're trying to do inventory reduction of the stock of items in my Etsy shop, particularly stamps and stencils. So we will continue releasing different coupon codes throughout the coming months. Right now we have 10 welcome. It's good in my Etsy shop for everything in your purchase. So, and that pretty much will cover shipping. So anyway, we have a 5x7 jelly plate here. I've got a pad of cheap dollar store drawing paper to like sort of stamp off on. We'll be doing our prints on Bristol vellum. And again, these prints will be doodled on and that sort of thing, stamped on with some of the rubber stamps. And we will be putting them up for sale in the Etsy shop. In case you missed all that. All right, so I have, what color do I want to start with this morning? I'm feeling in a weird mood, so maybe a cheery color and not a depressing color. I'm just glad there's some of you with me because this is not my normal day, and I kind of thought maybe I would be sitting here by myself talking to myself again. I think I'm going to start with this sort of gray blue color. I need some water. Water. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. All right. So the Himi gouache are a water-soluble paint, and you can see they're resistant to the jelly plate, which is fine because you get these interesting like marks on the paper when you do the prints. How is everybody today? Are we managing to stay safe and sane through this whole crazy stuff that's going on? I'm just discombobulated. Sorry, you guys. I'm getting messages that friends of mine are getting their vaccinations today and or this week. I am so happy for them. I like the way these are turning out. That's just one color with water, and because it's a water-soluble paint, it's resistant to the jelly plate, and it just gives you this interesting texture. And Linda, I can so relate to that. Safe but not sane, she says. Yeah. Ditto. Ditto. I'm going to get most of that off. There we go. All right, let's grab a different color and let's go with this purpley color. We'll do a little bit more of it this time. After we did our last round of jelly plating, I went ahead and got metal tins to store all my jelly plates in, which worked great. There is a couple of them on Amazon that work really well. The one that works really well is the one that's made by Ranger. That didn't show up very well. Where's my water? Yep, there we go. So let's try that again. There we go. The only problem with doing jelly prints is I don't have any place to put. I'm going to run out of places to put the paper as it dries. That's going to be a given. So then I just print off, like spray it with water and print off the stamp. clean it. And that's like the most that I do. All right. I don't really want to print that. I want to let it dry. Let's let it dry. And then let's put another color on the top. What color? What color? Maybe this color. Grab some white. A new brayer. You know, the one thing I don't need is any more brayers. I have so many. I don't need any more brayers. And I don't need any more jelly plates. Like that's like a thing. I have too many of both. But good for him. I'm very happy for him. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let's see. I want to spray it with water. And then I'm going to grab this one. We'll see what happens. I have like 6 brayers. I don't need any more brayers. My problem is I don't like obviously, if you can tell from this one, I don't like cleaning them. Why is the camera blurry? Okay. I don't know why it's blurry. We're going to turn the autofocus off. Okay. Oops, sorry. I knocked the whole table. I did figure out what was wrong with the camera, by the way. There was, of course, a Logitech camera update that I needed that I didn't have. You know, I appreciate Tim Holtz's creativity, and Ranger makes great products. I just don't need any more. I'm getting rid of stuff. I'm not getting more stuff. I have too much already. And honestly, for me, I am best at creating with like the simplest of products. A Bic pen and a highlighter. Like I don't need anything fancy. So yeah, so my daughter bought a new Kia Sorento. I think that was the name of it. And after she bought it, the battery light kept coming on. And they were pretty sure that it was a computer glitch, but they weren't, of course, 100% positive. So she had it brought in a couple times, and it seems to be one of those sort of ghost in the machine things where, you know, it only does it when you don't have it at the auto mechanic. And so they looked at it, and the, you know, hardware on the machine's working fine, the battery's fine, the alternator's fine, the cables were fine. So there was some programming updates that needed for the onboard computer. So they did those. And they just told her if it happens again, bring it back. It is a brand new car and it's under warranty. So, you know, there's that. So I think it was an easy fix, maybe. But, you know, it was kind of different playing, you know, mom's taxi service. I haven't had to do that in a while. And in case you missed it, I wasn't live on Tuesday because I was playing Mom's Taxi Service to my daughter's car. Yeah, I hope it fixed it too. There's just, we used to own a Plymouth Grand Voyager back in the day, and it was one of the ones that had computer issues. And you would be going down the highway on a bright sunny day, and the windshield wipers would just come on for no reason, and they wouldn't go off. You had to like pull the car over to get them to go off because they didn't want to go off. So, Bob and I, when she said she was having problems, we both kind of went, uh-oh, because we've been there with cars. And you all probably have too. You've probably had a car that, had some weird computer or mechanical issue that they had trouble diagnosing. I think most of us have been there. Yeah, the nice thing about my husband's new sports car is it doesn't have an onboard computer. It's a 1973 Barracuda, so there's no onboard computer. Okay, I want to do this. I'm going to spray the art foamy with water before I put it down. I don't know what this is going to do. We're just playing. Yeah, there's way less to malfunction if there's no onboard computer. I completely agree with that. That's nice. Okay, now I have this one piece here. I kind of like the way that turned out, but you know what? I think I'm gonna. Yeah, you also can get easily to some of the parts and things, to easily change filters. And like on the older cars, they were like right there. And on the newer cars, it's not as easy on some of them to get to filters and things. My dad, so fun fact for those who don't know, my dad and brother are both auto mechanics. I grew up playing in my dad's garage. I'm trying to stack these in a way that they dry. And one of the reasons we're using the gouache is it dries quickly and it dries very matte. And right now I'm very into the matte finish on the paints. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? This is the pad of drawing paper. So this is just a spiral bound pad of drawing paper from Dollar Tree. I usually get the different kind of tablets, but right now, because of supply chain issues and COVID, finding my normal drawing paper has been challenging because it's out of stock. I'm going to use a color I not never use, but I don't often use, which is this tangerine color. How can you look at that and not think happy? Now I'm going to add a little bit of pink. And let's brayer it and see what happens. Shall we? Oops. Where are my, oh, they're there. They're hiding. The moons. So while we're jelly printing, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's put that there. Hold on. I'm having trouble I'm having trouble. How are you all coping? I hope you're doing okay. I know times are tough for everybody. Right now, of course, we're just doing the backgrounds. If we end up with an accidental focal image that I like for the next part when I do like the doodling and drawing on top, that's cool. How is your mom doing? Oh, yeah. So without revealing too much, my mom is doing okay, but not great. She says she's doing better than she's actually doing. So, you know, that's typical for my mom. If you knew my mom, you'd be laughing right about now. My parents are both in their 80s, and mom got an infection, which caused her to have some brain fog type issues and balance issues, among other things. They weren't sure exactly what was causing it at first, and then they realized it was the infection. And when you're of a certain age, any infection is difficult to get over and get past. And she's in that age category. But she's doing okay. She is home from the hospital, and she's recovering as best as my mom is going to, not completely listening to doctor's advice. So there you go. Kristen. Oh, thank you for your service so much. I appreciate all of you all on the front line so much, as do the rest of us. I know it's so tough. I'm glad to see the numbers go down, but I am a little scared of people opening too soon and going out to do things too soon. That scares me because I think it's too soon. We don't have enough people vaccinated yet. Yeah, so Kathy, it's hard when you're stressed out, like to stay bright and cheery and creative. Like that's just, if you all follow me on social media and you saw the page I made last night, I was actually wrapping up the day and I was like, hang on, let me just slap some paint on a page, because why not? And so I did, and that's what came out. And I just noticed there's red splotches of paint on my little drawers back here, which I'm gonna have to clean off. But it's hard. But that's when I will just go with it and do a page like the one I did, or I will clean and sort. And the psychology, I guess, behind the cleaning and the sorting and the purging that I'm constantly doing is when I know what it is because I've been in therapy. When I can't control other things around me, the one thing I can control is my physical space. And so I will go and I will clean and sort and purge. Let's see, will these fit on here? They will. And so when I'm not feeling creative or feeling like I can express what's going on with me in my art, that's when I just do cleaning and sorting and purging. And then also I'm not able to work in a messy environment. I'm not one of those creatives that can do that. Yeah, so it's difficult. And my dad they live a couple hours away from us. My dad is trying his best to take care of mom. and himself. We keep reminding him not to forget to take care of himself. But it's difficult. Let's see. Oh yeah. Well, some art is better than no art, Kristen. Always. I mean, there are some days when I don't get anything done up here and all I do is my little daily drawing journal downstairs. That's just a thing some days. It happens. I don't know what it is about that one that I kind of like. Not sure. All right. I'm liking this blue color. And Kathy, you're not the only one that's going in like ups and downs. It's just, it's the state of things right now. I think we're all feeling that way. And, when it's a non-COVID year, I hate things like grocery shopping and doctor's appointments. And I do have anxiety disorder and things like that just get me off and I get stressed out. I automatically assume the worst thing is going to happen. It's just who I am. And I can't help it. And, COVID certainly doesn't help that. It does look like people dancing, which is one of the reasons I like this art foamy right here. But, the zombie dolls, both the felt zombie dolls and the zombie doll art foamy stamps started out as, and they come in big and small. These are the big ones. You get the 3. And then there's a little one, depending on what size you prefer to work with. They started out as a way to express my stress about COVID. And they still are a good way to express how I'm feeling. And I still find myself using them. This one, Kathy? I really like this. I like the way that one turned out. I might not do anything more to that except doing a little drawing on it to bring the shapes out because that one really turned out cute. There's a few of them over here. I can see that already. And then there's some that I'm like, okay, that needs something. I don't know. The colors are interesting, but yeah, I'm not sure what that says yet. All right, but we have a couple more backgrounds to do before we do anything else. Anyway, I just, some days you're going to find through this whole thing that, the art is just not cutting it. It's not helping you. As much as I hate saying that, it's not helping you work out what's going on and getting through the stress. I completely understand. Find something that does help, and whether it's cleaning and purging or it's going out for a walk or listening to music, turning all the devices off. Like, just turn all the devices off. Don't listen to the news. Yeah, it does actually. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to, any of the craziness. Just turn it all off. I kind of want to do these. And know that you're not alone. Like, we're all there with you. You all can't see this, but look. So that's using my jelly plate as sort of a stamp pad for my art foamy stamps, which is something I do a lot, not only with the art foamies, but with the red rubber stamps. So when I want to stamp them on paper or in a journal with paint instead of ink, and I started doing it because I didn't have any waterproof ink, then I will use the jelly plate as sort of a stamp pad, and I will ink up the jelly plate with paint, and then I'll use it to ink up the rubber stamp, or in this case, art foamy stamp, and then create some collage papers or images, focal images in my art journal. Okay, I kind of want to see what happens if I spray the paper. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out. We're going to turn on the telephone for a minute here, and I'm going to take the sound out so it doesn't matter what I say. But we're going to shoot a couple minutes for the vlog. There we go. Something about that purple today that I really like. But I keep going back to this blue. I don't know why. Now these kind of prints, whether you're doing them on thicker paper like this Bristol vellum or watercolor paper, or you're doing them on thin drawing paper, are great for just making sort of images for your art journal, or some of this can be used as covers for like a drawing, a little like sketchbook. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Kristen. I alternate between being excited and being scared as hell, to be perfectly honest. And so you're a respiratory therapist, so you have patients all the time that assume the worst, right? So I'm one of those patients. I could have a cough, but I just assume it's like something horrible. I am that person. So, and that's in non-COVID days. Y'all should have a conversation with my husband someday. Like, he just shakes his head at me a lot. I don't think he knows what else to do with me sometimes. Yeah, see, Linda? No, and and then you have things happen like the one time I wasn't nervous about getting doctor visits or tests. I had a mammogram right before we moved, and I was totally not nervous about it. And that was the time that they found a cyst. And so now that just makes it worse, because now it doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to always be, sure something's wrong. That's very true. They have no idea. I hope you can too, Kathy. I'm getting, messages from friends who are able to get theirs, and I hope you end up being one of them. I really do. Kathy's taking her husband in to get a vaccine tomorrow, and they told her if they have extra doses, she might be able to get hers. So everybody thinks some good thoughts for her. I may be able to qualify to get mine at the end of the month. So see, you can do something like this with your art foamies or rubber stamps and the jelly plate. You can use the jelly plate to just do a background and then stamp something over it, and then to bring it out, like go over it with pen or pencil. Oh, Kristen, thanks for the encouragement. Appreciate that. Glad to know it's not just me, ladies. This is the last piece of Bristol vellum. So now we'll start going back and looking at the prints and see if we need to do any more jelly plating on them, or if we need to switch to rubber stamps. Ooh, look at that. That's nice. Okay, so let's clean this off. Yeah. So, yeah, Kathy, I'm about to be a great aunt again. My niece is about to have another baby. I haven't seen the first one in like a year. So these are just the waste papers. And so I might be putting like blocks of these up for sale in the Etsy shop too. They're actually interesting too. All right, so now let's go back and look. I might want to do more paint on that one and that one. Maybe that one. This one I kind of like, so we're going to leave it alone. I like this one. Let's see what we have over here. That one needs something else. I like this one, so we're going to leave it. And there's something about this one too that I like. See, the nice thing about these paints is they're already mostly, for the most part, they're dry already. There's something about that one I like. I'm going to just listen to my instincts. Okay, I think these need to be worked on some more. So let's get to it, shall we? All right. So we're going to grab some white, which is almost out, but I have a spare. So again, these are the water-soluble Hemi gouache. You can use any matte finish. I prefer when I'm journaling or doing something that may at some point end up in a journal, I prefer to use a matte finish paint because you don't have to worry about things sticking together later. Yeah, Kathy, I know a lot of people like that, so it's very frustrating. But we can only control what we do and not what they're doing. Oh, it's Thursday, isn't it? I hear the gardener's truck outside, so you guys might hear the ring go off a lot. Just FYI. Let's see. I kind of like our weekly chats, by the way. It's like I'm here in my art room crafting with friends. At some point, we should have a arty party, for lack of a better term. I have a weekend coming up where I'm free most of the weekend. That's actually really cool. So, I'm showing the vlog camera, not you guys, because I can't figure out where I'm at. So yeah, we could do an arty party and we could just do it off camera, like on Zoom. I have a Zoom account, so we could have like 100 people there, although that would be a big, huge arty party. If you guys wanted to film it, we could do it with StreamYard. We could do, I think, up to 10 people. We could craft and paint and do whatever our heart speaks at us to do. the way I'm going with this, I'm going to need to get some more of this drawing paper because this is getting used up. Let's see. It's okay. All right. Good luck. Yeah, bring your snacks. Art, food, friends. Yeah, exactly. I think we should try to plan that. I have a free weekend coming up where I have like a Saturday. I'll have the dog with me, but I also can do it like any other days too. That I like that one. Okay, I want to do, will we be able to do it in white? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. I'm just glad any of you are here. I was worried because it was a Thursday and I know there's other creatives that are live today that it was just going to be me talking to myself. And it would be the one time I've ever gone live with nobody here. So glad that's not the case. Okay, I want to like smear some of that around. Okay, I want to take our girls again. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not in the best frame of mind these days, in case you haven't noticed. Let's go back to a dark waist page. And let's see if we can get these on here. I try not to do Thursdays too much because I know there's, I don't know, I just don't. Well, that didn't show up at all. Okay, so we might need to do that again with a dark color. Let's do this. See what happens. Okay. Lesson learned. Don't do white. Let's actually go wild and go crazy, and let's do black. No problem, Linda. And yeah, I like the smaller lives, fun fact, but I also like the lives that are not super long time-wise. There are some really great creatives out there that do fabulous lives, but they're like 4 hours long or 5 hours long, or sometimes all night long. I just can't. For lots of different reasons. And it's nice to have a smaller, there we go. It's nice to have a smaller live because it's more like we're just having an arty party with friends. That's a little bit better. We can at least see them now. Now the question is, what do I want to do with that one? Do I want to put it on here? Or here? Or here? What do you think? We also have these three. Which one do you think? kind of thinking this one. What do you all think? Kind of thinking that one or that one. The red one. Okay, let's do the red one. Let's see what happens. It's always a crapshoot. Yeah. So one of the reasons I don't sell a lot of work in the Etsy store is because I have trouble letting go of my art. But at this point, I have a lot of it and it has to go. There are some like purge envelopes and purge boxes in the Etsy shop that have like random artwork in them now. I can't even see the girls that were on there, but that is interesting. And I have an idea for that, but let's let it dry first. We still have paint on here, so let's use it. Do we want to use it on one of these? Maybe. Maybe. What was I saying? I don't remember now. Oh, I have trouble letting go of art, but there are some purge boxes and purge envelopes of old artwork in the Etsy shop right now. And I'm going to be listing more because my house is just getting, I'm running out of wall space. So that's a thing. Yeah, so I have an idea. What if we went over that with something in a bright red? I might actually have to get some of the stencils out because I have an idea. Okay, let's contrast that with this blue I keep going back to. So yeah, you guys asked about my mother earlier, and for those that don't know, Bob's mom also got hurt right before Christmas, and she got COVID. She got COVID, and then she fell and broke her hip. She's okay. She's recovering slowly. She is at home finally. She's 92. So that was fun. Not. Oops. Let me do this one. So it was both moms. So I'm running out of room again. Okay, so if we take this one, I take this one, got a bright red here. Let's see. Show that again, please. This one? Or this one? Okay, so I'm going to break one of my own rules, and we're going to ink up the stamp. I'm inking it up with paint. Do I know this is going to work? No. Hey, Kathy. Other Kathy. Yeah, so this one is accidentally really pretty. Okay, so we're going to take this. I don't know if this is going to work, and that color may be too dark for this, but let's try it and see. Oh, left one. Wait, you said left one. I think you meant this one. Because I forgot which is my left. And, you know, I'm scared to take this up. I'm scared. Oh, yeah. So what if you did that and you outlined them with a gold pen? That would be interesting. And see, you're getting accidental sort of interesting prints over here in the waste paper, which you always do when you jelly print. Like when you're doing mono printing of any kind, and especially if you're using like art foamies, the best way to clean the stamps is to just stamp them off on paper. See, look at that. And there's a lot of paint on here, so you're going to get a lot of these. Okay. All right. Do we want to stop with the jelly prints? This one kind of needs something. Let's get the plate wet. Try not to splatter paint on myself because that's a thing. Holy cow. Let's clean this up a little bit. One more time. There we go. Okay. We're going to go with this color, I think. That's way too much paint. Let's brayer it out. So of course, if you want your jelly prints way more opaque than these are coming out, then you want to not water the paint down, and you probably want to use a acrylic paint. This is a water-soluble gouache, so although it's more opaque than regular watercolors, it's not as opaque as acrylic paint. Before I get myself like all messed up, let's clean the mat because I know me very well. Okay. Nope, I want to do moons. Listen to your instincts because, you know, it's a good idea. Okay. So again, this is the waste paper, and there's paint on here from being on here. So I'm not getting any more paint on it. I'm just getting it wet. And the paint that's on there is coming off on the paper. Okay. All right. And let's see what happens. So yeah, the Three Women is one of my favorite stamps from the Art Foamies that they chose of the designs I did for them. But I love them all and use them all. But, you know, it has a good message right now. But I love the zombies too. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when you're really feeling like you need to express your feelings. So yeah, so gouache on the jelly plate or watercolors. I mean, see, look at that. It gives you an interesting texture and finish. And a little bit goes a long way. Now it is water soluble. So if you're going to use it as collage paper, you need to glue it down with a glue that's not very wet, and or don't get the top wet. Like I usually use a glue stick. Or I'll use like a matte medium. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, we have one more. There's a little bit of paint on here left. Let's add it to this one. Okay, yeah, let's add it to that one as it slides across the table. Yeah, exactly. You can get so many stamps from just one inking, and a little bit goes a really long way on the foam stamps, much more than the rubber stamps and regular ink. Okay, so we're gonna clean that. I also no longer go super crazy with cleaning my jelly plates. I mean, I try not to leave big crusty blobs on them, but my plates are old. You can see this one is kind of yellowed. It's not your imagination. I mean, I keep it cleanish, but oops. Okay, let's put this away. And let's put that paint away because it's going to be in our way. What did I do with the lid for the paint, people? Oh, there it is. Somebody tell me. Hey, Laura. Okay. Kind of clean up the mess that we made. Put that up there. I'm going to get out, a couple of ink pads and the prints that we made. Okay. Okay, sorry, I was moving things around. So you can get them directly through the Art Foamies website. After the broadcast, there is a link in the video description. But you can also just Google Art Foamies and go to their website. And under designers, you'll see my name. And we have the moons. We have this one, which is like leaves and berries. We have this sort of leafy vine. We have the three women, and they come with these cutouts, which on their own are interesting because if you look at them without the women, to me, they kind of look like chili peppers. And you do get these with the design. They come like this. And then the arrows. And then, of course, the zombie dolls, which is what started the art foamies, which is funny. KP messaged me, can we do your zombies as an art foamy? So the zombies come in two different sizes. This is about about 3 inches. This one's about, I don't know, 7 or so. And in each one you get your basic zombie with a heart. Yeah, they do sort of look like feet. You get the zombie doll with the stitches. You get this one just stamps just the stitches. And then this is the skeleton. And keeping in mind with all of these, any of the art foamies, you can not only stamp with the proper side that's meant to be stamped, you can also stamp with this side. So like with these foamies, you know, if you want to stamp, say this one, maybe you don't want to do this with the face on it. You want to just have it be a solid color to start, so you can stamp it with this side, let that dry, and then go back to the other side and just do the stitches on top. They also would be great Day of the Dead dolls. And I use them frequently. And I like to write kind of snarky comments on them. I did one of these on drawing paper, and that I later put in my art journal that said "dead to me," which I just thought, I think that's hilarious. I also have done felt zombies where you do like Mr. TP shortage. You can do like Mr. Coronavirus, like all of those things. This one says, "Don't hide in the fog, stand tall." And it's the zombie doll skeleton one coming out of sort of a green, purple fog, gray fog. And I stamped him like we did with these and let him dry. And then I just went over it with pen. And then this one is this one, then stamped with the stitches and then doodled on top of to bring out certain elements. And it says, "Don't be broken." And then this one, which is just the big skeleton. And it says, "Sometimes things are a bit blurry. Stay focused." Because when I was looking at the print later, I accidentally moved the stamp when I was printing with it. And so it came out a little bit blurry and not so clear. So I outlined it to bring out more of that. I can break out the coffin if you all would like to see the coffin. I have to run downstairs for it if you all want to see that. Anyway, I'm going to be doing, while I'm waiting to hear back from you on the coffin, I'm going to be doing artwork pieces like these, not all zombie dolls, but like these, where it will be paint, jelly print, some drawing and doodling, and writing from me on these that we just printed. And these will be for sale in the Etsy shop. Don't be broken. And these may be too, but these may be a little bit cheaper because these are just on drawing paper. They're kind of thin. So if you're going to frame it, you're going to need to like back it with something like a piece of cardboard. Okay, hang on a second. Let me go grab the coffin. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, this is the zombie doll coffin. I'm not even sure it's going to all fit on camera. Because I think it's too big. So I made the coffin out of just some scrap cardboard. Because, of course, you can't find a coffin like anywhere. Let me zoom out a bit. Hold on. And let's... Okay. I made this to hold the original felt zombie dolls that I was making, which started the whole... That's okay. I need the steps. It's all right. When COVID started, I started working out my stress about COVID in my art journals, but also I started slow stitching, which turned into me looking at kits I had in my art room, which turned into me making zombie dolls and turning the zombie dolls into sort of COVID characters, if you will, of things that were really like annoying me or stressing me out about this whole pandemic situation. And then at some point I had so many of them, they needed a case. So of course, what kind of case are you going to make for zombie dolls except a coffin? All right. So this is, and of course this is their, fabric shroud. This is one of the many things I have gotten offers to buy all or some of the zombie dolls. And I don't know that I'm ready to do that. And if I was, I don't think the price that I would need to charge would be anything that anybody would be willing to pay, to be fair. So let me just put that out there. The ones you see on top are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, because I mean, who else besides me is not only calling it the year of Mondays, but the apocalypse? Like, I mean, right? So this is created in response to the pandemic and worldwide situations of 2020. Each is one rider and one horse. This one is war. So this is war. And I was raised Roman Catholic, so I looked up the Catholic references for the 4 horsemen. There's lots of different references to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse with different things on them. I went by the Catholic version. I think I need to keep them too, Kathy. I don't disagree with that. I think this is one thing I'll probably not sell. And like I said, if I did, it would be really expensive. So each one of these 4 horsemen has a horse and a rider. And this is Conquest. And you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that blower out in the background. That's the gardener. This one is Death. This one is Famine or Pestilence. And depending on which reference you look at, I love the flies I got to put on him. See you later, Linda. And then you get into the ones that are sort of my way of working through the ridiculousness of the pandemic. So this one is Miss Stay at Home. And I put, a lock on her that says locked in. Her keys say the right key. It just feels like we don't have the right key to not be locked in. This one, misinformation. Can y'all guess what this one is in regards to? I just, this one is Mr. Social Distance. You're told not to get close to anybody. There is a sewing pattern for the zombie dolls, because at some point I developed my own pattern and my own way of doing things. And I started out doing things one way and then morphed into doing things another way. So there is a PDF sewing pattern in my Etsy shop, FYI. And the 10 welcome coupon code will work on that. This one is Mr. Stay Safe, you know, because at some point you feel like you and your whole family are just wrapped in bubble wrap every time you like leave the house, right? Here we go. Miss Coronavirus. And I did label the back of all of them. I wrote something on the back. And the 4 Horsemen have like more of an explanation on the back. I do have more zombie dolls cut out. And I do think this is a great therapy, if you will, for lack of a better term, for not just what's going on right now, but in the future. You know, if you want to work out what's going on with you in a creative, healthy way, rather than abusive, destructive way, which could be a lot of things. In my case, eating too many M&Ms or something. This is a great way to do that. And you could make little, you know, sort of zombie or what are the ones you stick pins in? Voodoo doll type things to express how you're feeling. This one is Mistaken Faith. Oh, you're welcome. See, that's the point of me doing this. I want to share creative ideas with you all, but I don't mind running downstairs to grab these if it makes you all smile. I'll explain this one in a minute. There's a few different ones in here. I'll explain those in a minute. So here we go. This one is Mr. Wash You Hands. Wash your hands. I don't understand why people weren't washing their hands before, but neither does Mr. Wash You Hands. This one's funny. Mr. TP Shortage. And then, you know, I wasn't sure if I could make little rolls of toilet paper. So I ended up making a lot of them, and their extra ones are in the box. I did save all the extra rolls of toilet paper. So they're in the bottom of the coffin. I'll explain that one in a minute. So you see, there you go. There's all the different ones at the bottom. This one is Miss Front Lines, in honor of all of you on the front lines. And the part of the stethoscope, that's the inside of an earbud, just FYI. I used what I had. This one is Mr. Shut Your Mouth. Because at some point, I was just not feeling like I could talk to anybody. He does, Kathy. He says, what the hell? What were you people doing before? This is Miss Deadwater. And this is where I started doing my own pattern. So this is a mermaid shape. This one is Mr. Death Wish. This one is Mr. Bloodsucker. This one is Mr. Dead Treat. Now, these were done, this particular one was done in response to a request by Mike Deacon. It's not necessarily COVID related, but it's definitely pandemic related because, you know, who else felt like just Halloween and the holidays were just like dead? Like we needed to just skip it. Now he does, the pumpkin head is a mask, and underneath is his skeleton face. Now I can't get back on. Just have to like squish his brain to get him back in there. There we go. All right. One of the things that prompted this whole idea was before the pandemic, I had been thrifting. I like thrifting. And I found a Bad Boss voodoo doll. And I just thought that was weird enough to buy. It was like $2. And so I did, and I brought it home and it sat on the shelf for a while. Then the pandemic happened and I decided to turn him into this sort of pandemic positive affirmation, like voodoo doll thing. The original doll was red. And then I just started adding things to him, mostly words on little pieces of fabric and sewing them to him like every day for like a month or something until he was filled up. Words that just stood out to me, things I thought were missing, like laughter, which is on here more than once because I evidently really needed that one. And queen and truth and freedom. And I put wings on the back so that I could add more words. So he's definitely pandemic related. So he lives in the coffin with his friends, the zombie dolls. Now, making like felt dolls is not a new thing to me. I used to make Dodie dolls back in the day. Who's old enough in the mixed media world to remember Dodie dolls? And these are some small ones that I made back. These are made a long time ago, like 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. These were miniature dolls that were made. I sold most of the ones I made. I happen to have these left. These were actually made in miniature to submit to a magazine for publishing. And these are not named, but I have 2 angels, this love heart, and then a patriotic star. And I knew when I had the idea for these zombie dolls that I had done something like this before, and that would be cool. Let's do it again, but let's do it bigger and differently. And because these inspired those, in a way, they live in the coffin with their friends, the zombie doll family. And so then they all fit in here, sort of. Like I said, I do have a few more that I want to make. And, you know, I get inspired to make new ones all the time. The problem is at some point I'm going to have to make a second coffin because this coffin's already pretty full. And yeah, you can do anything with these dolls, and the pattern includes the pieces like for the bones. If you want to make it more of like a Day of the Dead doll, you could do just the skeleton and then put flowers and things, make it colorful. And then if you're doing it in memory of maybe a past relative to honor their memory, you could do something like this where you print something on fabric on your computer or just write it on a piece of fabric with Sharpie and sew it to the back with maybe their name on it. They're great therapy. Oh, there's another of the miniatures, a Little Mermaid. So they all live in the coffin, and it lives downstairs, and it has like a book in here. I need to write a letter about the pandemic and stick that in here, which I don't think I've done yet, and just like stick it in the side. So that's the coffin. That's a good idea, Kathy. Oops, I missed a roll of toilet paper. Yeah, maybe a less depressing coffin and one more of a happy coffin. And maybe zombies that are still funny and snarky, but less negative. Because I'm having enough negative thoughts on my own without help from the zombie dolls, to be honest. All right. So there's the code for the Etsy shop. It's also in the video description. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys. Let's see. It's okay, Kathy. Not a problem. I get sidetracked easy anyway, so it's fine. So here's one of the prints that we just did. So this is, did I label this? Of course not. This is one of my stamp sets. I don't remember what, oh, yes, I did. Set number 9. Again, we are going to be running different kinds of coupon sales and sales on the stamps and stencils in this store this year, periodically on and off, because I'm trying to reduce inventory. Right now you have 10 welcome, and that will give you 10% off everything in the Etsy shop. So I have this sort of Homsa hand. We've got some black archival ink. I could, if I had still had the jelly plate out, you can ink these up with paint, but I think we're going to use ink. And I'm going to just try to make sure. I don't know how dry my ink pad is, so hopefully it's not too dry. So I'm going to go in the middle. Yes, now everything's good and dry, and I will be spending the afternoon working on these. So I'll post pictures later for you all when they're finished. I do think I need more ink on this stamp pad, but we're going to just go with it for the moment. Oops, there are some words in this stamp. Whoop. And I think that's the one I want. It's hard to read it when it's backwards. Now these are deep etched red rubber stamps. Yep, that's it. All right. This is just a Bic crystal pen. So I'm just going to do messy lines. I gave up trying to do neat, clean lines a long time ago because I could never get them perfect. And so then it would just drive me up the wall because they weren't perfect. And so rather than make myself completely crazy, I just gave up trying. And bonus, I kind of like the way that has turned out. I'm finding some of the leaves that are in the background from the leaf stamp, and I'm tracing some of those. My niece is messaging me, sorry, or somebody, the one that's about to have a baby. Let's see, there's one there. And there are some berries on here. So the zombie dolls are not hard to make, and there is a video out there somewhere on my channel for how to make them. They were such a big hit that Mike Deacon even broke out his sewing needles and things to make some. which I find funny because sewing is not generally his thing. So I like that. I'm going to get a white pen. I need a scrap piece of paper. Let's use this. It'll work. Yep, there we go. Just kind of accent what's on there until you like the composition. I will make sure they're all signed. I loved Kathy that he gave them to the neighborhood kids for Halloween. I absolutely loved that. I thought that was fabulous. Okay, I've got these. I'm still kind of thinking this one's kind of wet. I'm thinking this one needs gold. Do I have a gold pen out here? Probably not, because metallics aren't my thing, but I've got one close by. Do I know which one's going to work and show up better? Of course not. I mean, you know. That one's not working. Let's try this one. Yep, that one's working. Good old Sharpie. So just try to follow the lines of what you see in the print, whether you actually were trying to create a particular image or not. Oh, Lord, don't want to stick my hand in the wet paint. Maybe you just did some abstract things and you're just trying to like pick out what you accidentally created. That works too. And then maybe at some point you're inspired to add or write words on the print. This is a Sharpie metallic paint pen. I have the others. I have different kinds, but I'm a cheap pen girl and they seem to be the ones that work for me consistently most of the time. And so then I'm going to take the black Bic. And I'm going to take all of the prints and do something like that to them today. And I will post some pictures of them. And you might find you don't need to stamp anything else on there. That I like the way that looks, so I'm going to leave it alone. And I don't know if you all can see that different in the camera on YouTube, it looks all black. It's not all black. You can see the original like gold and yellow in the background, and the girls are red. And you might find that there's ones like this. Let's see. My family's like going crazy on the text messaging. If you hear my phone going off, that's who that is. Okay, so then, you can make interesting pieces of art, things that really speak to you or speak to the viewer of your art, expressing how you're feeling, your frustration. It's good therapy. Sometimes it's not enough. I'll admit that. Sometimes it's not enough. And that's when you need to go for a walk. You need to have friends you can safely chat to. There's nothing wrong with, of course, seeking help if you need it. I, for the most part, find joy in expressing myself in my art. Not always. Yeah. So positive baby news. She's doing really well. She and the baby both. She said the baby's kicking. So I stamped on this with that leaf stamp a couple of times. Things are a little bit muddy, but I'm just pulling out the shapes that I see, which is fine. It'll be different and unique from the stamp. No problem. Yeah, I got to go too. I can only be on a couple more minutes. I want to remind you all to, if you can, support the free content here on YouTube and in the Facebook art groups. Shop in the Etsy store if you can, especially right now, because like I said, the stamps and stencils are going to be either on sale or there'll be, like right now, a coupon code for the entire store. So please support the free content by doing some shopping if you can, or joining Patreon. Or using the PayPal tip jar or any of those things. And not just for me, for any of your favorite creative YouTubers. I know they all are struggling right now and they could use your love and support. So let's please do that. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns and you're watching this recording, you can leave them down below. You also can, if we're friends on Facebook, you can DM me. Ask me, whatever it is, and we'll get it worked out. And please stay safe, stay healthy, stay creative. Please be kind to each other and go out and do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. And I am going to draw the afternoon away. See? All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. And next week we will be back on Tuesday. Wish me good luck at the eye doctors tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.